The late afternoon light filtered softly through the curtains of the small terraced house on Elderwood Lane, illuminating the familiar furniture that had not changed for years. Eleanor Marsh stood silently in the lounge, her fingers brushing lightly across the frame that held her late husband's photograph. Thomas had been gone for 4 years now, yet his memory still breathed through every corner of the home they had built together. She had learned to carry her grief quietly, like an old coat she could not take off, and though she had learnt to smile and continue with life, a piece of her always remained with him. The house was small but warm, filled with memories of laughter, arguments, burnt toast, Christmas mornings, and late-night conversations. It was the only place where Eleanor still felt whole. And although she was alone, she still had Amelia, her only daughter, though lately it felt as if she was losing her too. Amelia, once tender, thoughtful, affectionate, had grown distant, restless, and impatient. Her behaviour had shifted gradually until she seemed like a stranger passing through the house, rather than someone who belonged to it. One windy evening, the front door swung open with such force that Eleanor flinched. She stood in the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel, and called out softly, "Amelia, are you all right, love?" Amelia did not reply. She stomped across the hallway, climbed the stairs without a word, and locked her bedroom door. This had become normal: late nights, hurried whispers on the phone, secretive behaviour. Eleanor could not remember the last time they'd had a proper conversation. Something was wrong, but every gentle question she asked was dismissed with the same cold response. "I'm fine, Mum, just leave it." Eleanor tried to carry on as usual, telling herself that perhaps it was just stress or a bad phase. But the unease continued to grow, and then, one drizzly Saturday afternoon, the doorbell rang. When Eleanor opened it, Amelia stood there with a man by her side, tall, smartly dressed, and with a confident smile that struck Eleanor as unsettling rather than charming. "Mum," Amelia said stiffly, "this is Callum Hayes." Eleanor forced a welcoming smile, though she already felt uneasy. "Hello, dear, do come in." Callum introduced himself politely, but everything about him seemed rehearsed, as though he had memorized a script for impressing parents. He walked around the house with an appraising eye, commenting on the decor, the structure, the value of older homes like these. Eleanor stiffened each time he spoke. It felt as though he wasn't admiring the house, but evaluating it, calculating it. When they left, she stood by the window and watched them walk away under a single umbrella. The knot in her stomach tightened. Something about that man felt wrong. 2 evenings later, Amelia approached her in the kitchen, her expression serious, almost hardened. "Mum, we need to talk." Eleanor turned off the kettle and faced her. "What is it, darling?" Amelia inhaled sharply, as if preparing for battle. "I want you to transfer the house into my name." The words hit Eleanor like a physical blow. "Your name? Why on earth would I do that?" Amelia glanced away before answering. "Because Callum and I are planning to get married. We need a place. You live alone, Mum. You don't need all this space." Eleanor felt her heart sink. "Amelia, this house is your father's legacy, and it's my home. I'm not giving it away." Callum suddenly stepped into the kitchen, having let himself in without knocking. "Mrs. Marsh," he said smoothly, "it makes perfect sense. You can move into a smaller place, and Amelia can start her life here." Eleanor looked at him with disbelief. "No, I will not sign anything. This house stays with me." The polite mask on Callum's face slipped for a moment, revealing a colder, sharper expression. "You're making things difficult, Mrs. Marsh," he said quietly, and then he walked out, leaving a chilling silence behind him. From that day on, Amelia's behaviour spiralled into hostility. She snapped at every small thing, raised her voice, slammed doors, and hurled accusations that pierced Eleanor's heart. "You're selfish. You don't care about my happiness. You're just keeping this house out of spite." Eleanor cried alone at night, wondering what she had done to deserve such cruelty from the daughter she had raised with love and sacrifices. Meanwhile, Callum began visiting more frequently, walking freely around the house, inspecting cupboards, lifting rugs, measuring walls. It was as though he already believed the property belonged to him. One evening, Eleanor walked into the lounge and found Amelia holding a bundle of documents, official papers. "Sign them," Amelia demanded. "Now!" Eleanor took the papers with trembling hands and saw what she feared: property transfer forms. "I won't sign," she whispered. Callum stepped closer, his voice low and threatening. "You will, one way or another." Eleanor's voice trembled, but her resolve did not. "I said no." Amelia's face twisted with anger as she stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her. Callum paused only long enough to mutter, "This isn't over," before following her. The next morning, while Eleanor sat outside trying to gather her strength, her elderly neighbour, Mrs. Whitford, hurried towards her with concern etched across her face. "Eleanor, dear, I must speak with you." She handed Eleanor her tablet, an article displayed on the screen. The headline alone made Eleanor's heart freeze. "Con man arrested for defrauding women of property. Callum Hayes among suspects." Beneath it was a photograph of Callum, smirking in the same polished way he had smirked in her living room. The article detailed his pattern: targeting vulnerable women, manipulating them emotionally, forcing them to hand over ownership of their homes, and then disappearing. Eleanor felt her breath quicken. Her hands trembled violently. She had feared something was wrong, but she had never imagined this. Mrs. Whitford squeezed her hand. "I recognized him instantly. I thought you should know before it's too late." Without wasting another second, Eleanor rushed into town, determined to find Amelia and show her the truth. She found her daughter at a cafe, sitting alone, scrolling through her phone with a distracted expression. "Mum, what are you—" Amelia began, but Eleanor cut her off and placed the tablet on the table. "Read it," she said. Amelia frowned, then began to scroll. Her face changed colour rapidly, from confusion to disbelief to horror. "Mum, no, this can't be—" Just then, Callum entered the cafe, stopping short when he saw the screen. His jaw tightened. Amelia looked at him with tears gathering in her eyes. "Callum, what is this?" He didn't bother pretending anymore. His tone turned sharp. "It's rubbish, don't fall for it." But Amelia pushed the tablet towards him. "Is it true?" His eyes hardened. "So what if it is?" He leaned in, voice low and venomous. "Do you think you can walk away now, after everything?" Eleanor stepped protectively in front of her daughter. "You will not go near her again." Callum laughed, a chilling, humourless sound. Old women who meddle in things they don't understand tend to regret it. But the cafe staff had been watching. The manager and a security guard approached quickly. "Sir, you need to leave now." Callum glared, but seeing no advantage, he hissed, "This isn't over," and walked out. It was, however, over. Eleanor filed a police report immediately. With his history already recorded, officers issued a warning that forced him to back off for good. Callum vanished from their lives. That evening, Amelia curled up on the sofa like a child, her face red and swollen from crying. "Mum," she whispered shakily, "I'm so sorry. I thought he loved me. I thought you were trying to control me. I never knew." Eleanor wrapped an arm around her. "Darling, real love doesn't demand that you throw away your family. He didn't want you. He wanted the house." Amelia broke down, sobbing into her mother's chest. "I almost ruined everything. I almost lost you." Eleanor stroked her hair gently. "No mistake of yours could ever make me stop being your mother." In the weeks that followed, Amelia worked tirelessly to repair the damage she had caused. She repainted the hallway, fixed the wobbling shelves, cleaned the attic, and apologised 100 times. Slowly, the house began to feel like home again. Not a battleground one mild spring morning, Amelia joined her mother in the garden with 2 mugs of tea. "Mum," she said softly, "I've enrolled in a design course. I want to build something for myself. Properly this time." Eleanor smiled warmly. "I'm proud of you, love." Amelia hesitated, then added, "And, Mum, thank you for saving me, for forgiving me." Eleanor kissed her forehead. "A mother's love doesn't run out, Amelia." One quiet evening, as the golden sun dipped behind the roofs of Elderwood Lane, Eleanor stood alone in the lounge, gazing at Thomas's photograph. She whispered softly, "I kept our home safe, Tom. I kept it safe for both of us." And she had, because in the end, greed had failed, but love had not.